Hi, everybody. It's Kit from the Tualatin Public Library. Did you know that Tualatin is a designated bee city? This is so amazing. I love bees. So I thought today to honor that, we should make a buzzing craft of a noisemaker that uses a tongue depressor, some index cards, and a rubber band. Let's get started.
All right, to get this craft started, we need to get our stuff together, and that starts with two index cards, preferably the 3x5 cards, and then we'll need a wide rubber band, a jumbo craft stick, some foam, some crayons, markers, whatever to color with, and a tape, and scissors, and yarn, which I forgot to put in the picture, but you do need it. All right, to start with, I'm going to decorate my cards because you know me, I can't have anything completely plain. Besides, this can be the most fun part of the whole thing, decorating it up in any way that you see fit. And so that's just what I'm doing with some crayons here. I have done all different colors. They can kind of look amazing when you're spinning them around, so be creative. All right, then next we're going to take our cards and we're going to tape them to either side of the jumbo craft stick. We want the cards to align with the top of the craft stick on either side, and so they can flap together when you spin your object around our noisemaker. All right, and then once you've got it taped on the top, make sure you tape it just on the sides, just to make it lay a little flatter. This will help with it staying together to have a buzz. However, you will be using another piece of foam on top of that, so if you forget, it's not a huge deal. And once you do one side, you just got to do the other side. So that's what we do next. Once we've got it aligned and down, then we go to our next step, which is cutting out our foam. Now, this can be craft foam, it can be foam of any kind, really. It's just a spacer for your rubber band. And we're going to want to cut it about as wide as the craft stick. This does not have to be exact. It's just mostly for aesthetics that you would want it to be that wide. And then once you have them cut, you're going to fold them in half. This will give them a little more uh, depth for your rubber band to come around. And then you're going to fold them in half again around the end of the popsicle stick. Once you have that down, then it's just a matter of taping it down. I have a tendency to tape it over the top first because that kind of secures it onto the stick, and then to make sure you have a little bit more tape on the bottom onto the cards, so it doesn't end up sliding off, especially when you put the rubber band on it. Sometimes the stress of that can cause it to pop off. I get kind of finicky with mine, so I got a little tape there, so I decided to cut that off. Did the front side, and now we will do the back side of that piece. And of course, once you finish with that, you do one side, you got to do it to the other. So that's what we will do next. Now, if you don't have foam, you can use anything that would create kind of that padded feeling there. But foam works the best, and craft foam is super cheap. And just so you see how this would fit, that is a wide rubber band there. It would go over like that, so that when you're spinning it, the cards will vibrate, which causes airflow, and that airflow will vibrate the rubber band. But before we can finish that, we need to put a string on it in order to spin it. So we want to cut it about half the length of our arm, especially for kids, because if you don't, then it can hit the ground, and it's obviously not as much fun then, although you can always trim off extra. And I am going to probably fast forward through this a little bit so that you don't see how horrible I am at tying knots. But you do tie it around the foam on one end, and I would recommend a square knot. Might even do it three times, three knots instead of the two square knots. And then to give it extra security, I would tape down over it to make sure that it stays on. Then the last step is to put that rubber band on, and there you go. You have your finished noisemaker. And of course, I always have to do my own spin.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this craft as much as I did. I love bees, so I'm going to go pretend to be one and pollinate some flowers. This is Kit. Zing off!